Hello, this is Bluestar, Defender of Equestria, and this is a revisit episode of the Elements of Harmony and how they work and what are their purpose. I must admit my first video on the Elements of Harmony was one of those quick and dirty videos I sometimes make, but the Elements of Harmony definitely deserve much more time and attention. So I'm going to borrow an idea from the Mythbusters called a revisit episode. For those who don't know, the Mythbusters test things like urban legends and scenes from movies and see if they are true or not. A revisit episode is when, upon learning new information, or upon receiving many angry emails from their fans, that they're idiots and they don't know what they're talking about, roar! They go back and re-examine their previous results and sometimes even reverse those results. So I'm going to go back and re-examine my previous thoughts on the Elements of Harmony and see if I need to change my conclusion or not. Well, first in my previous video, I said the Elements of Harmony are not a weapon because, well, when I think weapon, I think lethal, because, well, most weapons are lethal. But in my dictionary, it defines a weapon as something used to defeat, injure, or destroy. Well, by this definition, the Elements of Harmony are in fact a weapon, but they are certainly not in a destroy mode. Their purpose is not to destroy and kill things. As I said in my previous video, their purpose is not to burn holes in walls and things, it is to transform characters. So I still think the ultimate purpose of the Elements of Harmony are to transform characters and not to simply knock them out or destroy them or kill them in horrific ways or anything like that, but the question still remains, exactly what do they do and how do they work? Well, at first I thought they altered the pony's heart or personality, but I don't think they work that way. If that were true, not only would Discord not have to be reformed, but he wouldn't have needed to be turned to stone either in the first place, since he would have been reformed after being zapped by the Elements of Harmony. In Discord's case, I almost think this is because the Elements of Harmony and Discord are literally opposite forces, like matter and antimatter. And when you try to put two of these kind of forces together, they go bang very loudly, ooh, and result in both forces being cancelled out and being destroyed. Ooh, not good. So I guess the Elements of Harmony can't mix with Discord and instead seal him away, and effectively taking away his power. I think this is how the Elements of Harmony work and what they ultimately do. They either take away or increase a character's power, since this is effectively what we see each time we've seen them used. For Princess Luna, the Elements of Harmony transform back into supposedly the form she had before becoming Nightmare Moon, and also taking away all of her dark powers. And this opens a door for Celestia and Luna to make amends and resolve the situation, which they should have been able to do the first time, but for whatever reason, were not able to do. And again with Discord, his power is effectively taken away as well, but by physically sealing away in stone. Ooh, that was most unfortunate, but he was causing a great deal of trouble. Sorry, Discord. But anyway, the last example that I will be using in this video is from Magical Mystery Cure, when Twilight is transformed into an alicorn. But first, Twilight is zapped by the Elements of Harmony, and in short appears to be aiding in this physical transformation that turns her into an alicorn, and unofficially increases her power. I say unofficially because we've yet to see that her power has actually increased in any way, but considering that Season 4 hasn't started yet and all we saw of Alicorn Twilight was during Equestria Girls, well, that's obviously that question has not yet been answered. But anyway, in this case, the actual transformation is initiated by Celestia and not the Elements of Harmony themselves. But I still think the Elements of Harmony had an important part to play in Twilight's transformation. It's just not entirely obvious how. But all of these are physical transformations of some kind, but also increase or decrease the character's power at the same time. For the villains, these changes allow them to see something another way that maybe they didn't see before, and in the end give them the opportunity to be reformed, whereas before, when they still had all their powers, they were unable and or unwilling to listen, but now that their power is gone, it opens the door for them to choose to be reformed, which is certainly good for everybody. In Twilight's case, the Elements of Harmony help her achieve what, for the most part, she's earned already by mastering each of the Elements of Harmony and, of course, mastering the magic of friendship. I'm so proud of you, Twilight. I promised myself I wouldn't cry, but... Anyway, I really like the Elements of Harmony because the ability to offer the opportunity for characters to be reformed is certainly a very powerful force. So my original statement that the elements of harmony destroys the enemy by making them your friend, in a way is still true. It just doesn't do it in such a forceful way or alters their personality and simply makes them good instead of evil and stuff like that. Which I'm glad about, because simply having something that literally makes an evil character good would be awesome, but it certainly is too easy of a solution. It sort of feels like cheating in a way. But then again, actually using the elements of harmony has never been easy. It's always involved some kind of journey or trial or struggle of some kind. You just don't simply pick up the elements of harmony and use them like you would a traditional weapon. And sometimes this journey is a physical journey, but often it's an emotional or personal journey that ultimately unlocks the elements of harmony. In Friendship is Magic, the main six obviously must first get to the elements of harmony and actually find where they are. But once they do that, Twilight then had to take all of these lessons that she's learned from all these ponies that she barely knows and briefly look inside herself and discover the vital element, the magic of friendship. Only then are all of the elements of harmony unlocked, and the main six now have the power to defeat Nightmare Moon and turn her back to the kind, loving Luna that we all know and love. Remember, Luna, we all love you. In Return of Harmony, Twilight has to remind her friends what their friendship really means to each other before they can be reunited. But they also have this other thing that they have to do where they have to secure Rainbow Dash before Twilight can use the memory spell on her. Ugh, that was a lot harder than I think they thought it was gonna be. Oh dear. But anyway, only after all the main six are reunited can they use the elements of harmony and defeat Discord! Yay! Way to go, main six! Similarly, in Twilight's transformation to an alicorn, Twilight must also reunite the main six, except this time by encouraging them to help each other and remind one another what their friendship means. After the main six are all back together again and Twilight finishes the spell, whose key was friendship, do the elements of harmony activate and aid in her final transformation. The one exception to this rule might be when they release Discord and Keep Calm and Flutter On, where they simply put on the elements of harmony and just release them. But in any case, wielding the elements of harmony for the most part appears to be and often is a very difficult journey. But this is certainly what makes the elements of harmony so cool, in that they may be a weapon, but they're not just something you can just pick up and use. They require strength of character, and of course, the magic of friendship, in order for them to be used at all. This is why the elements of harmony are the most powerful magic in all of Equestria, because, as Luna said to Blue Star in Blue Star 1, remember, the greatest power here is togetherness. Friendship, love, community. As long as you have these, you will always prevail over any threat you will face. This is certainly true for the main six, with or without the elements of harmony, that they will always prevail as long as they have the magic of friendship that comes from all of them. Because I think the strength of the elements of harmony, they come not only from the individuals, but from everything together. So the elements of harmony are a very cool addition to MLP, even though it sometimes may seem an easy solution to just have this giant beam thing come and reform these characters and make them good, but it's not. The journey it takes to use the elements of harmony will always make each and every time that they are activated and used a very cool and powerful moment, because this is a moment of unity and strength.
And it's just not something that simply happens every day.
It only happens when these six ponies come together and unite for a common goal and a common cause, and show how powerful their friendship really is. And I must admit, I love moments like that. I love moments where people, and in this case ponies, come together to overcome problems and stand together as one, and always shows what is possible with the magic of friendship. And that magic is very, very powerful. But the key is, we all have to work together. Just like the main six. We all have to be using the elements of harmony together in order for them all to work. It can't just be one of us. It has to be all of us. And that's what definitely makes the elements of harmony so cool. So I will be looking forward to seeing the elements of harmony in future episodes, because they're certainly one of my favorite forces I've ever seen in movies and TV, because it is a force of unity and of these six ponies coming together and standing together for a common cause. And we definitely need to emulate them and be more like them, because they're definitely the example for us all. They show what can be done when we all come together and act with a common purpose and common goals, and what we can achieve with the magic of friendship. So that is the end of my revisit episode of the Elements of Harmony. This is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.